Alright, so a couple people asked about this deck. As you can tell by the title, it's Asura Kaiser. My friend Black Guy Senpai's channel will be in the description. My camera's upside down, so it's probably down there. Yeah, I'm just going to talk about it for a while. I did a deck profile yesterday at Locals, but it was a little loud, and I feel like I didn't go as in depth as I wanted to. Because I feel like people just don't know about Nova Grapplers yet. Or haven't tried it, don't have the confidence to try it yet, so I might as well just, I don't know, go Broadway or something. See how long I talk about this. Spoilers, AXL, circles. Alright, so I'll go into the deck first and then I'll explain the card choices, how to build it, and then how to play it in its matchups, because I feel like that'd be good to spread out like that. Burst Riser, once we get King of Sword, I think I might take him out. Because I'm not going to need high powered anymore, I think. I don't know, I'm going to test it. Triggers. Apologize for the lighting, my lighting sucks here. 7's, almost said stand again. 7 front, 5 draw, 4 heal. I think 6 is too much. You're not going to hit the fronts. I never liked 6 in like any Nova Grappler list ever. I used to play it in Asura Kaiser, but that's just because like, well, I meant like the Mortal Asura Kaiser, so like 2013, 2014-ish, because that had 12 threes and a lot of shit that I needed to draw, like PGs. But PGs are draws, so I kind of get away with less. I think 8's too much front because you need a little bit of help. There are a couple of games where I was resolving like 3 or 4 draws, and it was really nice. I know it's a little ridiculous to get 4, but like at least 2 or 3. Like 1's good, 2's like you're gonna be just fine, and 3's well pretty great. And I like the 5k guard on this. I know I have to sacrifice 10 for, you know, different guard values, but I miss guarding with the 5s. It's nice. I mean, if you want to try 8, like by all means, but I mean you're not gonna like it. 6, I mean, you're just not gonna hit triggers that are good. I don't know. I think this is gonna be a different list than yesterday. I think I'm going back to what I originally had for like all the decks that all the matches I had when I posted on my channel. So I'm back down to 4 jet, 3 hammer, and 4 hammer, 3 transriser. I think my profile did 4 of these. Jet is like really good. He's actually an attacker when he's on Vanguard or Rearguard. Whenever any of your guys are placed, he gets +3. So a lot of times how you play this deck, you gotta have at least 2 attacks per turn, and if you go second, you can always put him on Vanguard and put like an 8 down and tap, could be 10. So that's pretty cool. Play 2 guys, he's 13, and that's the perfect number. Just gotta be able to tap and attack Vanguard. I'll put him over here to explain other stuff later. Rocket is just for justifying Cup Bowler. I never use this effect, I'm never going to. It's just +5 when you boost a hero, so blessing 1. But like, it only really matters on Battledore, because you can hit 29, because 17 + 12. And for Cup Bowler, it hits 27, but who cares? 27 doesn't matter. Because the matchups that are already like 12Ks, like the Assault and Protect, the matchups not warranting a guy to get power, you already can hit things, and a lot of your attackers get turned on because of that, so it's unnecessary. And Transriser is 11k booster, it's a riser, that doesn't matter how I'm saying. If just in case you need the counter charge, it never will come up. The only counter blast cards in here are high powered in Asura Kaiser, and like you're not resolving high powered, I'll tell you that much. And Asura, you're not, like if you're drop checking 4 3s in a row, you either won or you lost because you drop checked 4 0 guard value cards. So you don't really need the counter charge. It's there to be there. I mean, it could just not be in here. I was thinking about Death Army guy, like real quick. I'm gonna explain stuff later, but I was thinking about him instead of Transriser. In Perfect Riser, you gotta play him. It gets your 6 counter blast when, well, if you get to 6, you die. So it's helpful in there. Even though the soul is actually kind of important in there, but it's still like okay. It can boost for 11, so like you can hit pretty good numbers. Like him and Battledore is 28. Him and any of the 14k attackers is 25. That's over 23, so that's good. So it comes up in that aspect. It's okay. Grade 2s, 4 high powered, 4 iron killer, 4 cup bowler. Cup bowler's pretty cool. I thought he was shit. I thought the whole hero engine was shit until I realized how to play the deck. And these 14k attackers are the best things you can ask for. They can just tap Vanguard and attack. Basically, these 12 guys do the same thing, especially like these two, because it's just another hero and 3 rear guards, including himself, so it's only 2 others. Not hard to get. But like this guy, he's okay. He can be the attacker. He can be the 15k attacker. When you call him, you put him in the same column or ride him. So he's the best Great Suit ride because he actually has an effect. And when he hits Counterblast 1, put him back in the soul and stand a guy. I can only count on like one hand through the start of me playtesting standard stuff. So like, I think it was like, I don't remember what day it was. It was like a Thursday. I think it was the Thursday of the week before the release of the trial decks. My friend Mike and I were playtesting. That's, you know, handful of videos where like we just didn't know how to do standard decks. We were just like, we were excited to play and we played it. Since then, I maybe resolved this 4 times. It's not great. You can give a reason of like, oh well, you're playing it, so like if it does hit, it's great, and then like they have to guard it all the time, but that doesn't matter. This is the only card that has any kind of effect that interacts with your opponent, and it's not a good one because he's so weak. And that it's fine to be so weak. It justifies like a good effect on a bad card. That's good card design. But he, like, on his own, like after if him stuck behind Vanguard, he can't attack. He's 9. He's not attacking Vanguard. It's just like Boomerang Thrower. He's like, a guide has a cool effect, but he's not being able to be tapped to attack Vanguard. So when we get King of Sword, which is a promo, let me see if I can actually show you guys. When he's called Celeste 1, look, no, it's not look at top. What am I doing? Target 2 guys, and they get +3 if you have a whole board, like 5 rear guards. They'll get +5. Look at me wasting time. Where the fuck is he? I'm gonna find him. You guys are gonna hold on a minute. I'm not editing this. I do promos. I did promos. Double grappler grade. Oh, it's not in the database yet because we don't know when it's coming out. So he basically not plays guy gets power. I'm gonna probably test him instead of this guy. And he's also like dirt cheap. I don't know. I just don't like him. Like I wouldn't fault you for still playing him, but like as soon as one card comes out that is better than this, it's coming out. Grade 3s. The whole reason that the deck's even a deck is Asura Kaiser, 4 Baldor, and this is different from the other one. That's what I was using for a while, 2 Max Riser. I'm going to preface this by saying, don't play this deck expecting a better card than Perfect Riser in Asura Kaiser. He's not better at all. He has cool upsides, like the +10, like it actually turns into a real stand trigger if you check a 3. And he doesn't take counterblasts. I probably should explain him first. When you drop check a 2 or 3 when he's on Vanguard, stand a guy. If it's a 3, countless 1, give a guy +10. You can actually target a guy that's still just stood, give him 10. That sometimes comes up if like I have boards where I attack with like a guy on Excel. Like I have a dumb board like this, like a weak guy, a big guy, and just Azure. I can do like this, tag, get like a 2, and then get like a 3, just give him 10. And it can come up. It's like an extra trigger. Well, extra triggers, like there's 20 extra triggers in here. Like, your opponent can't play around it. They can only prepare for it because they don't know if you're gonna drive check the stuff you need. Because it can happen. In my videos, I've driven fucking 1s, like 2 1s up the top is like the worst thing to see. It's literally the only cards in the deck that aren't triggers. Because these Like all these fucking guys are triggers, except for Jet Rider, of course. So it's only like 11 cards. In theory 10 because you have to ride the one. But like he's cool because he's like nothing. It's like 50 cents or something like that. His origin rare is like 6 or 7. But he's not better than Perfect Riser. And I wish in so many situations I had Perfect Riser. The only times that it comes up where like I'm glad I didn't have Perfect Riser is if I actually check 2 3s and get +10/+10. Because that's essentially Perfect Riser plus the front for the same counter blast. But I do get like a shitty drive check. Because you get the ability deck in a way that you need to be able to actually resolve Asura Kaiser. Perfect Riser is just a guy with an inherent effect. Like I'll take the counter blast over having to play like a wonky grade ratio, which is fun because I've been playing wonky grade ratios forever. Like standard's really weird to me still because I can't play 7 grade 3s in any deck because it helps when you ride them and whatnot. Like this year I played like 12, 13, and Sanctuary I played 4, and all that kind of stuff. I even felt weird playing Grand Blue 7Cs with like 7. That was just weird to me. It's too normal. But like this to just justify the card, like it's fine and all, but Perfect Riser is just so much better. So if you have the accessibility to Perfect Riser, just do it. This deck may be $15 shipped, but you'll I don't know. It's not amazing. And I don't know why people were even asking for the deck profile on Black Guy's channel, because like it's literally just a carbon copy of the Perfect Riser deck. Like, if I was playing Perfect Riser, I'd play 4 Trans Riser. Like yeah, I just cut like one of these for a Trans Riser, and these would be perfects. It's not that much different. Like Nova Grapplers don't have that many good cards because most clans don't have that many good cards right now. Well, in fact, all of them. The only thing that's a little weird is OTC. You can play it a different way. And like now, what people think is standard, like all the scrying cards, whatnot. So like it's just a cheaper, worse Perfect Riser. So like I don't know, just don't. If you're gonna play this, don't complain about how much worse it is than Perfect, or like you're losing games to Nova Mirror because they play Perfect. Like because you have no right to complain. You bought the cards and whatnot. You put the commitment into it. But if you can get Perfect Riser, because that's even budget still, it's only like $80 for the deck, maybe. Just do that instead of this. But I'm also not saying this is bad. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's whatever. And then these other guys are just attackers. Unboosted for 22, and he attacks for 17. He has an Excel Circle. I used to think he was garbage, like all the other heroes. But he does an Excel Circle. Like if you're playing like 4 of these and 4 Azure, you're kind of just like, if you ride this, you're fucked. At least here you can ride a guy and put a guy in Excel Circle and attack. His other effects is counter +1/+1 once per turn on Vanguard Circle. You can target a guy, and during that battle, if your opponent cards from their hand, they have to use 2 cards from their hand. Downside is they can just intercept and get around that wording. It's pretty dumb. It's like the old Kagero guys who used to be like, I think they're rares or commons. They do the same thing, but I think those didn't require only hand. I think those were also, if you intercept, you have to use another card. If your opponent's got a wonky board and there's a way you can like get around like a PG in there, not like PG, but like dumb shit in their hand, you can target a guy who's tiny and then hope they don't have like a 2 or something. You know, he's okay, and he has the same big boy attacker requirement as Iron Killer, so 3 rear guards for 17. Yeah, so that's the deck. I might try Death Army guy like this week instead of him, just because like I don't know. I'm using him, but in times where I don't really, doesn't really matter. Just like 8's a shitty booster. Since Excel is built in a way that they can't hit 23s unless you go out of the way to do so, which is like this, because if you boost them, it's shitty. Because 17 plus 8 is 25, and like that's fine. It's good card design and good mechanic design to make this clan and this Excel group be like more fair. Because Protect can hit 23. Which is fine because they're slow. They don't have like a million attackers. This deck has a million attackers. and they can attack more with the Excel markers and whatnot. So that's fine. But then you have to just play bad cards because you're building your deck in a way that you're kind of forced to, which is fine. So that's like the only thing I would really change, because I don't even actually have Riser Customs. Not like I really care about them, but I can explain that. I'll explain that now, like card choices and whatnot. So let me get some images up, so I'm not like talking to the wall here or something. So I'm gonna explain Riser Custom because people love this card, and I don't know why. I guess people are just so used to the old. I hope you guys can see that. I'll do it. People are so used to the old Asura Kaiser, not Asura Kaiser, the old Nova Grappler stuff. Like he's a basic carbon copy of, from what I remember, the Beast Deity starter. I forgot his name. So I thought that guy was cool because he's +5, and he basically gives your guy in the front like 5k when he stands every time, which is cool because the triggers are only 5. But now triggers are 10, and the 8 isn't mattering anymore. So the magic number you got hit is 23, because that's so you can push through a trigger. And it's not like you're not really forcing the 15 out. I mean, you could, because there's only a max of like 12, 15k guard people are playing, because I don't think people are not playing draw triggers right now. So it's this, so it's the heals and like crits or fronts, regardless of how many they play. You're just trying to force those out, I guess, and you're trying to push through triggers, which is I can push through triggers. It's fine as long as you're attacking. It's all good. One card's one card. But this 8 doesn't matter. You're not hitting 23. For example, you're not hitting 23 with this, because he's 8. These are the 14s, so 14 plus 8 is 22. That's not enough. And you can say that like in the OTT or Nova Mirror, it'd be good, but it's like you shouldn't have to. Like I mentioned earlier, you shouldn't have to play differently or bad cards to justify the 12k matchups, which are already fine as is. This deck needs to beat 13 basically, and like Jet, he can, if you call 3 guys, it'd be 16, 16 plays 24, but in reality you're only calling 2, so you don't overcommit, because this deck needs cards in hand. And like he's bigger unboosted, it's 22, and this is the only one that matters, 17 plus 8 is 25, like I mentioned earlier. But that's it. It's 4 cards. In reality, 4 cards in the deck. That's not enough to justify Riser Custom. I mean, yeah, you can swing the mirror, but in the mirror you can't. It doesn't. This card still doesn't matter. It still comes down to triggers, because you guys are playing, well, hopefully, the same list. So I mean, I wish people just wouldn't play it, because it's not great. What other cards people like? I have seen less with Death Armor Guy. I actually have the card, I'm using the phone. So this is the way to get past the big 23. We're not going to count Jet Riser, he's 13. So instead of having just 4 cards like Riser Custom, or like any of the boosters, or 8, you get these guys now. You get 8 more guys who can hit for 23. It's a cool going first ride. But I mean, you'd like to have the one counterblast open for high powered. But at least 9 and 14 is 23. 9 and 17 is 26, it doesn't matter. But these are just 23k attackers, which is nice. But he has no guard value, which kind of kills him, since this deck has, as you can tell, no card draw. Its consistency comes in the form of redundancy, as in all these guys can attack. Well, Asura's here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 22 attackers that can at least attempt to attack Vanguard for some sort of number. You kind of need as many cards to guard with as possible that have guard value. You don't want to be throwing down PGs when you don't need to, just because you're playing cards that don't have shield value. But I mean, I don't know. I still kind of want to give him a shot. Because if I had to play for him, oh Jesus Christ, that would suck. It'd be Because one of these, so it'd be 9 grade 3s and 4 of this. Basically 13 cards with no guard value, and that kind of fucking hurts. And calling boosters does suck in this deck. This deck shines where it doesn't have boosters, and that's where its card draw comes in, where you're keeping cards in hand because you don't have to play them. Because, like I mentioned earlier, that can't hit 23, so you're hitting just a value that's under 23, higher than 13, which is, in theory, all these guys. So you can hold grade 1s in your hand for guard value, like these extra cards. These extra cards become basically extra zeros. When you need to call them, you can call them, but they can just be extra cards in your hand. A lot of times you're only playing with 4 cards in your hand, which is fine. If you're low enough, it's not going to matter in the long run. So a card like this, it's hard to justify. What else we got? Oh yeah, Boomerang Thrower. Boomerang's more just for Perfect Riser. If you don't know what he does, when you call him and you have 1 less soul or 1 less damage face up, you replenish either one you have. In Perfect Riser, if you... I don't know how... I don't even know a situation that would come up where you would need like a 7th damage, unless you like resolved high powered and your opponent lived through you Transrisering for like 2 Perfect Risers, you probably lost. Either you lost or you won in both those situations. I mean, where does Boomerang come in? He's also like a 13th hero, because I wouldn't play more than one of that guy. So if you're like not confident enough in playing just 12 heroes, you could, those 3, you could play him as a 13th. I wouldn't recommend it. I just think he doesn't have any value. He also can't attack Vanguard. Another card you just can't attack Vanguard. Burst Riser. Burst Riser is actually like, he would shine in the Asura Kaiser deck because there's, in theory, not a lot of counterblasts, and also in theory, if you're not using a lot of counterblasts, you don't have to use him, and then you have the soul, and you'll be able to do stuff with him, but he, again, can't attack Vanguard. If you know what he does, when he's on rear guard, when your Vanguard attacks, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, stand him. If your opponent's at 4 or higher, he gets +3. Only +3. He's not going to be attacking for 13. He's only attacking for 12, and that sucks. He's cool on grade 2 turn. I played my first built Novas. I just went with my instincts because I hadn't learned yet, and I thought he was cool. But that's about it. He can't attack Vanguard on his own, and even when he stands, he can't attack Vanguard on his own. He needs other things to help him out, as in a trigger, because he's not a hero. He can't boost him with other shit. So he's bad. Extra muscular. When he stands, he gets +3. So in theory, he'd be okay. You just put him down somewhere. He lives a turn. You stand him for your turn. He's +3. But then he's 12. But then he stands again. He's 15. But who cares? Like, you have to stand him again. But he can't do anything on his own. So bad card. Wouldn't play him. I guess that's all the cards that people talk about. I don't think people talk about extra muscular. There's also Miss Splendor. When your hero swings, I guess +3 opponent can intercept, and you have more rear guards. They're +3. But again, more numbers that don't matter. It doesn't matter if you can do for all the heroes. It doesn't matter. Kind of just bad. All right, so that's like deck building and like what the deck does. It's like the list is fine. Like you can cut a couple of cards. You can cut, like what I mentioned earlier, like one of these if you don't want to have a full 10 grade 3s. There was even a time where I was playing 11 just to try to get as much off of Asura Kaiser as possible, but you don't need it. Games aren't going that long. And it's not like the end of the world where Immortal Asura Kaiser needed to check a 3 to restand. It can still go off 2s. So that's pretty cool. That's why I wouldn't want to change the amount of 2s. I mean, if there was another 2 to play, I'd go with 13, but there isn't, like I just showed you. And like I mentioned earlier, if you can get Perfect Riser, just get Perfect Riser. Don't mess with this guy. if you really don't want to. If you just want to get into standard and just have a deck and you don't want to put that much money into it and you want something that's playable, go for it. 15 shipped, I'm pretty sure. Still, I haven't checked since like last week, because the Friday of release it was $11 shipped, but the market has not settled down yet because there hasn't been any big events. There's still people opening product and whatnot. And you can tell there's only 2 foils. Well, 3 foils because of the PGs. I think the PG's most expensive card is like $1. So it's easy to get into, and I'm pretty sure people are willing to just give you commons and rares for fucking no grapplers because they suck. And I don't even know what rares are even in here. Oh, we got Baldor. Yeah, it's just Baldor. Because the other rares were like the shit cards like Burst Riser and whatnot. Alright, so I guess I'll explain how to play the deck. So, like I was talking about with the no booster thing, that's kind of the big thing with this deck is you don't really need boosters. Since triggers are 10s, if your opponent gets a trigger, you kind of have to just deal with the fact that your turn ends. And if you want some examples of that, go to my channel, go to Black by Senpai channel, description in the description box. Watch some of the Nova matches, and you can see how bad it can get when your opponent gets one trigger. It just sucks. You can't even be mad about it. It's variance. It's out of your control. There's no reason to get upset about it. You just have to play out your board in a way that the damage isn't as bad if they get a trigger. So things like, let me get an example out. Let's go with the grade 2 ride. We'll do, in a perfect world, we'll do this. We'll ride that. We'll have these guys. So this is simple enough, just, you know, nameless cards. So if you look at this, and you have no other grade 1s in your hand, because you not that many in the deck. It's already one in your soul. You gotta not want to just attack and get a front trigger because they're so cool. Everyone loves front triggers because they're awesome and they give all your guys power. But you have to like not do that. You still have to play like you should. You try to play optimally, not based on your deck that is maybe 7 cards that are that or 6 or 8, whatever you're playing. So this board, it doesn't matter what your opponent's attack is, either 10 or 9. You kind of just have to do this, and you kind of have to hope. In reality, if you're on the other side of this, you should eat the first one. No matter at what turn it is, you should eat the first no grappler attack because no one's really playing crits in no grapplers. And you just want to get a trigger for the possibility of ending their turn, because if it was back in the G era or Limit Break or Legion, 14s, and if your guy's on 9, they get a trigger, you can still hit all your stuff. But now it's 10, so these guys can't go in. So when you're playing it, you gotta just attack with these guys first. I know it sucks to kind of think about, but like attacking with a guy, and like a lot of time I do kind of do that. 1, 2, 3. Especially if you're on grade 2, like there's no reason to attack with Vanguard first when you get 1 drive check. Like this can help if like you got a point where they didn't get a trigger on the first one. If they got a trigger on the first one, you might as well just do this because I can't hit anyways. So I guess, I don't know, it's weird. Maybe on like grade 1 ride it's worth going like double swing. But you're kind of just avoiding a trigger, and you want all your guys to go in to force as many cards out of their hand, or just ping for damage. That's all the deck needs to do is to ping for damage, which makes it like one of the most interesting decks in the game. It's hard to play. It's kind of hard to come back from your opponent getting a trigger as well. So there's that. Now let's go to grade 3. That's, you know, wishful thinking. We'll actually ride Asura Kaiser, and we'll put a Baldor there. This is nameless, guys, doesn't really matter. So on this turn, like hopefully you actually rode Asura Kaiser, but if you rode him, it's okay. Again, you're trying to just avoid triggers killing you, so you still want to attack with the smallest guy first. you don't even need a booster for this turn. Like, even if you didn't get high powered, like, this is still fine. You're just committing less cards to do the same thing. Because the 8K, you know, like I mentioned, still doesn't matter. So, like, if you had that, it's still just 22. Like, who cares? You don't have to put the guy down. They get a trigger regardless. It's not going to go in. I'm only explaining it for the Force matchup because for Excel and Protect, I mean, you know what you're getting into. You know you can put boosters down if you really need to. So that's not the worry about it. In the mirror, I probably wouldn't. You still want to hold cards. So you always want to do it the smallest guy first and the biggest guy second, because in theory you'll probably stand a guy because there's 20 to 22 stand triggers in this deck. So you want the opportunity to be able to stand the biggest guy, but also you want to poke with a guy that gets killed by a trigger. So it gives yourself a little room. And don't worry about if your opponent gets a trigger and you're swinging with your Vanguard and it's triggered fast. Just still go after Vanguard because they're going to be unwilling to guard since you don't have crit triggers in your deck. So the worst thing that can happen is they take 1 damage. So that's fine. A lot of times it works out. But in standard, since cards are, even with OTT, cards are still pretty, like, just the amount is low. So they're not, if they can do the trigger to pass inherently, they're going to let it through. Even if it's 12 to 13, they're still just going to, most of the time, let it through. It's fine. It's all good for you. Because the only thing that matters is your rear guards. But that's just a couple things to remember just to play in the deck. You just gotta think, like, what's going to happen if they get a trigger. You want to prepare for that. And there's obviously times where you have like a hand where this is sometimes a better option, where you have like it's like a random 8 or something. Like that can come up, or well, I don't know, sometimes it doesn't really matter, but I mean, if you have something crazy like that, or like any of the guys, since they basically attack for the same number, this kind of board can help because you can go like 1, 2 Vanguard, and then, you know, regardless of what happens, he can still hit for over 22, well, over 23, really. Over 23, less than 28, so he doesn't get blocked by a trigger. Just things to remember. But you don't want to be committing boosters that often. So I did upload some videos, a big Asura OTT series and some Kagura matches, which I do lose quite a bit. But you can see how the deck's supposed to be played in practice to avoid things like triggers killing you and killing the turn. So that's always stuff to remember. I guess I'll explain the matchups too, because that's something that you gotta know. Since there's only 4 decks in the game, you can actually prepare for matchups. We're with like the mirror for mirrors. It's so easy to explain. It's literally just triggers. It's just hope, I guess. If you're playing Asura against Perfect Riser, you have to go in thinking you're gonna lose, because it's gonna happen. They have better cards than you, as in their grade 3 is better than Asura Kaiser. I never recommend going over after rear guards unless you got stopped during that turn where they got a trigger and your board sucked, and you have no other choice than to attack a rear guard. No matter what, just go after Vanguard. No matter what matchup it is, just go after Vanguard when you can. That's all you want to do, because there's not that many valuable rear guards in the game right now. I don't even think Tom's that valuable. He doesn't block triggers. Like, Promise Star is okay. I wouldn't really care that much. It's only just like an attacker. So it just doesn't matter. Like, you just gotta win as quickly as possible. That goes for all 3 matchups. So it's coming up to variance and just whoever can, you know, attack basically. And whoever's deck's built the best will probably win. Even with the Asura Kaiser, you probably can win if your opponent's deck's built like shit. But if you're playing stuff like Burst Riser because your opponent thought it was a good card and, you know, didn't do the research or whatever, and you're playing Nova Grapplers, it fucking sucks to see. So I guess like go to 4. Eating turns is pretty good. In every one of the 4 matchups, there's always a card you want to eat the turn of. You want to eat like Soul Saver, Imperial Daughter, or Waterfall. Like, what the fuck am I thinking? Like, that's also a good way to get like card advantage or at least like a form of card draw is eating a turn, so you don't have to use cards from your hand. Regardless of what happens to your rear guards, you can just draw more rear guards. Alright, so what's next? Royal Paladins. The Royal Paladins, I still think they suck. I think I talked about it in the last video. Royal Paladins, I think, are the worst deck in the game right now. They do so much and so little. All I gotta do is eat a Soul Saver. Like stay low enough to eat a Soul Saver. If they do go first and put a full board out and try to blast away, kill you, that's like the one time you have to guard, because being at 3 before they ride to Alfred, it sucks. You want to stay on 2 and like be at 3 so you can eat a Soul Saver, or if you have like enough PGs, you can guard the Soul Saver. So in theory, you want to live through Alfred, live through Soul Saver, and kill him that turn, regardless if you're going first or second. If you're going first, like every matchup is way better, but going first against Royals is like, you should be fine. You have like extra things to help you out, and you have to guard more, and they'll take a lot of damage and whatnot. There's some examples. I think there's some examples on my channel. I don't remember though. I forgot if Dead Zone I put that on my channel or not. You can kind of see that in action. OTT is probably the most fair. The series I just uploaded, yeah, it's over an hour. I know no one's gonna want to watch it. There's a lot of examples of how to play that matchup, which is kind of just, you can grind them out. If I had Perfect Kaiser at any one of those points, I could have been winning like second grade 3 turn. Asura, it's harder because you're still playing with variance. You check a 1, it's again the worst thing in the world. But the matchup is really fair because they can't do anything to you. You have to just kill them before Deer. So that means you have a full 2 grade 3 turns to work with, because they have to ride, and have another one. So unless they cheesed you and they went like, I'll trust Imperial Daughter, put a 3 in the soul, call Deer, try to kill you. But as long as you're at 3 and your hand can warn it, you can still live. Like Deer is still, I mean, it's still easier to live through Deer than Soul Saver if you're at 5. Just gotta think of it that way. I mean, yeah, the crits suck, and you have to basically guarantee. And in the worst possible situation, you have to guard 2 guys because they're gonna get the 2 crits on either Vanguard or Rearguard, regardless, like depending on what you guard with. So that's something to think about. Just keep attacking Vanguard. The Rearguards don't have any value. If they get triggers, then yeah, attack the Rearguards when you can. You could put boosters down. Just don't put that many. Like the board, like I mentioned earlier, with like, give me this. Like I won't even say that because you can attack. Like just something like this, you can put a booster down because it's 22 and whatnot. So you can do that in that matchup because you don't have to go out of your way for the number. So you can like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever happens. That's good against OTT because they're 12. So that's all you gotta remember. You can grind the game out. Don't let the amount of cards in their hand scare you. A lot of times it's just PGs and grade 3s, since the 4 draw triggers, and every time they ride to get a PG. So in theory they'll have 7, and OTT players playing 9 to 10 grade 3s. And in my experience, I always have grade 3s and PGs in my hand, so basically their hand's like half the size of what it should be. And if you can make them guard with their rear guards, that's even better, because their rear guards suck a lot worse than yours, and a lot of times they might not even have like a full column. You just want to keep poking and swinging. And then Kagero. Kagero can fucking suck, but also can be really good. I mean, you'd love to go first, but that's not always going to happen. The removal is kind of hard to deal with. That matchup, definitely don't put boosters down. The only boosters you should ever put down is if you do that. Put a Battle Riser in the column because it's still just this 1 card. Then you can throw the high powered away to boost later. Not boost later, you can throw it away to guard later, what am I saying? You gotta eat a Waterfall. Eat Dragonic Overlord when you can, because if they activate Dragonic Overlord, they'll have 1 less card in their hand, because they have to discard 2 to stand for a -1 drive. And also don't be scared of Dragonic Gaius. You gotta just no guard Vanguards a lot. That's what I do. it's the best thing. He's like, he can't be scared of a crit. You just have to do what you need to do to win the game, and a lot of times just eating a Vanguard will win you the game. And if you can, eat a Waterfall and then they kill him afterwards. Like a second Waterfall does, it might spell disaster, but you can probably get through it. It's fine. Yeah, so those are the matchups. I don't really care about the next set as of like playing against it, or like if this deck is playable when like Tachi Spikes and Mega Conley come out. That's nothing to worry about right now. Just I'm only worried about what we have right now. So yeah, if you want to play this deck, it isn't a lot. Again, I don't recommend it over Perfect Riser. Just get Perfect Riser if you can do it. But if you want just someone to play, you can play a bad deck like this and I guess have fun. I don't know, just if you need like more convincing, I guess watch my videos or something. But I'm not trying to convince you this over a better deck. If you can get a better deck, then by all means. If you want to try Nova Grapplers, then go for it.